Hello kids! We're already in the day 4 of our English 4 Quarter 1 Week 1 lesson. Before we start, let me tell you first our learning competency and objectives. At the end of this lesson, the learner should be able to comprehend literary text, draw conclusions based on the text read, and relate one's experiences to the text. Who among you lives or experience living near a river, a lake, or by the sea? Have you ever gone fishing? Today, we shall listen to a story entitled Going Fishing, and we shall draw conclusions based on the details of the story. Are you ready to listen? Let's go! Lily lived in a small town by a sparkling river. Every weekend, she and her dad went fishing together. One sunny Saturday morning, they packed their gear and headed to the riverbank. When they arrived, Lily's dad helped her set up the fishing rods. "Fishing takes place, Lily," he said. She cast her line into the water and watched the ripples. While they waited, Lily thought about her dad's stories of catching big fish when he was her age. Suddenly, she felt a tug on her line. "Dad, I think I caught something!" she shouted excitedly. Her dad helped her reel it in, and together they pulled out a small, shiny fish. "Great job, Lily," her dad said, smiling proudly. As they continued fishing, Lily noticed her dad loved telling stories more than catching fish. She listened closely and realized there was always a lesson in each story. On the way home, Lily asked her dad, "Will we ever catch a big fish like in your stories?" Her dad smiled and said, "We already have, Lily, in our own special way." Did you like the story? Now let's comprehend. Who are the characters in the story? Where and when did the story happen? What did they do in the lake? What did Lily's father tell her when he was her age? What lesson did Lily learn from her dad about their fishing trips? What did Lily's dad mean when he said they had already caught a big fish? What do you think might happen on their next fishing trip? Why? How do you think Lily feels about fishing at the end of the story? And why? Now, before we watch the video lesson about drawing conclusion, let us have first lesson language practice. Choose the meaning of the highlighted words from the options. Next slide. Write your answers in your notebooks. Number 1. Dawn is the first appearance of light in the morning followed by sunrise. What is the meaning of dawn? Choose your answers below. 2. Father, the 2 cars out of our garage. 3. An artist is skillful in the use of colors. Here are the answers. Every day, we draw conclusions. For example, when someone keeps on sneezing, you can conclude that person has colds. When someone is sad, you can conclude that maybe something bad happened. These daily situations In our lives prove that important reading skills, which is drawing conclusions, is important in our daily living to come up with decisions. To start with, let's define the term conclusion. A conclusion is a decision you reach that makes sense after you think about the details or facts that you have read. This means that as good readers, it is required that the details that you have read are important to come up with a good decision or judgment to a situation. In addition, drawing conclusion is using information that is implied or inferred to make meaning out of what is not clearly stated. When reading text, you are like a detective, searching for clues to help you draw a conclusion. The author will not explain what happens in the story. You draw conclusions. When you use pictures and word clues to figure out what is not being said in the story, we are filling the blanks left by the author. For the group activity, read the passages with the learners and draw conclusions. Write the letter of the correct answer. A. No one could find Spot. It was raining outside. Tina and Ted looked everywhere. Then Tina said, "Let's look in the doghouse." Sure enough, Spot was inside. The dog was nice and dry. Tina and Ted were wet. From that story, can you tell that A. Spot likes the rain? B. Tina and Ted liked the rain? C. Tina and Ted were warm and dry? Or D. The dog knew how to take care of itself? For letter B, "I know what we need," said Juan. "We need a tree in our backyard. We could have one right here. It would help me make the yard look pretty. Will you get us a tree, Mother?" From the story, can you tell that Juan wants Dan to buy some books? B. There were no trees in the backyard. C. The family doesn't like trees. Or D. The yard was full of trees. Discuss your answers within your group. For the generalization, what two things do we need before we can draw conclusions? Can you share your answers in our comment section? For the evaluation, read and draw conclusions from the following short stories. Choose the letter of the correct answer. Number 1. "When I grow up," said Mila, "I want to fly an airplane. It must be fun to fly over the towns. It must be fun to see people down there." A. Mila wants to be a doctor. B. Mila doesn't mind high places. C. Mila wants to go somewhere. Or D. Mila is afraid of heights. Number 2. "Look at your hands, Henry," said Mother. "I have never seen your hands look like that. Get them clean right now. How could you sit down to eat with those dirty hands?" A. Henry got a chair for Mother. B. Mother likes to see dirty hands. C. Henry loves to have dirty hands. Or D. Henry's hands are clean most of the time. Number 3. Jenny looked out the window and saw dark clouds gathering in the sky. "I think we should bring in the toys from the yard," she said to her brother. "It looks like it's going to rain soon." A. Jenny wants to play outside. B. Jenny doesn't like playing with toys. C. Jenny thinks the weather is changing. Or D. Jenny wants to go swimming. Number 4. Timmy came into the kitchen with a huge grin on his face. He held up a shiny gold medal. "I won the race!" he exclaimed. All that practice really paid off. A. Timmy is upset about the race. B. Timmy feels proud of his accomplishment. C. Timmy doesn't like running. Or D. Timmy didn't want to win. Number 5. As the bell rang, Jen quickly put her books in her backpack. I can't wait to tell Mom about my art project, she said excitedly to her friend. I worked really hard on it. A. Jen is not happy with her art project. B. Jen doesn't care about school. C. Jen is eager to share her success with Mom. Or D. Jen forgot to do her homework. Here are the answers. For the additional activity, guess it right. Read the short passages and draw conclusions from each. Write your answers in the space provided. 1. It takes a turtle about 10 hours to travel 1 mile. A snake can travel 2 miles in an hour. A house cat can travel about 30 miles in an hour. A tarsier can travel 24 miles in an hour. To conclude, tarsiers move more slowly than... Write your answers on your notebook. Number 2, there are many rats in the world. No one knows just how many rats there are. Many rats live underground. Many live in other places where they can't be seen. Some people say that there are about as many rats in the world as there are people. You can tell that no one has... Write your answer in your notebook. Thanks for watching. See you again next time for our Quarter 1, Week 2 English 4 lesson. Goodbye!